Thank you to Jammu Kashmir International People's Alliance for inviting me here. Without countering the previous speaker, just one small mention which I would like to make. I think this is the most unfortunate thing for us Kashmiris. While Kashmiris are asked to talk about the China-Pak economic corridor, and we are listing the benefits for Pakistan. So I think that's the wrong approach, but that's my opinion. I'll start with my speech, which is called China-Pakistan Economic Corridor in Jammu and Kashmir. I'll take you on a roller coaster towards history and mainly focus on the Kashmir issue. The impact of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor on the region is a very broad subject with many layers and interrelated dimensions. As I am a state subject of the state of Jammu and Kashmir, I will mainly concentrate on the implications of this corridor on the state of Jammu and Kashmir and also try to elaborate its effects on the people of this region and on the future of the wider Kashmir issue. For all of its history, Gilgit Baltistan and its people have been neglected, insulted and exploited. Firstly, in 1949, the area of Gilgit Baltistan was named the northern areas of Pakistan and put under the direct control of the Federal Ministry of Kashmir Affairs and Northern Affairs. Afterwards, it was Zulfikar Ali Bhutto who abrogated the state subject rule in this part of Kashmir. The next Pakistani ruler, Ziaul Haq, then unleashed anti-Shia forces in the region, which caused extreme socio-political polarization in especially Skardu. After that, the tribal Lashkars started the abduction of women and massacred thousands of Shias in 1988. Pakistan's stance on Gilgit Baltistan in particular and on Jammu Kashmir in general has been full of paradoxicalities. In 2009, the Pakistani government passed the Gilgit Baltistan Empowerment and Self-Governance Order. The order turned Gilgit Baltistan into a province, while Gilgit Baltistan has never been constitutionally a part of Pakistan. It has even no mention in the Constitution of Pakistan. On the other hand, Pakistan has officially rejected the full integration of Gilgit Baltistan by propagating that such an action would be unjust considering its international obligations related to the Kashmir issue. It is strange to conclude that while Gilgit Baltistan does not figure in the Constitution of Pakistan, Pakistan still feels that it has the right to transform it into a province. To make matters even more complicated, the Pakistani Supreme Court in 1994 observed that these areas, quote, are part of Jammu and Kashmir state, but are not part of Azad Kashmir. Just last week, Pakistan has again raised the Kashmir issue in the United Nations. It has said that in order to ensure peace in South Asia, it is high time that the Kashmiri people should be provided the opportunity to exercise their vote through an independent and impartial plebiscite under the UN in order to ensure that they are given their inalienable right to self-determination. I'll explain the paradoxicalities of this stand. As a nationalist Kashmiri who believes in the ideology of an independent, united and secular Jammu and Kashmir, the UN Security Council resolutions hold no relevance for me. But perhaps some other Kashmiris who have been victims of propaganda need to understand the duplicity of Pakistan's role in the UN vis-à-vis the Kashmir issue. Although I reject the UN Security Council resolutions on Kashmir as they only provide us Kashmiris the chance to choose whose slave we would like to be, I feel obliged to go back into history and clear Pakistan's ambiguous stand in this matter. The right of the Kashmiri people to self-determination was abrogated by Pakistan itself in the UN Security Council. It was the Pakistani Foreign Office which, in a letter to the Security Council signed by Mr. Zafarullah Khan, the then Foreign Minister of Pakistan, inquired if the words future status, as stated in the resolution of 13 August 1948, could mean an independent Kashmir. An affirmative reply from the Security Council caused the Pakistani government to suggest an amendment to this resolution. In a letter to General McNaughton, President of the Security Council dated 28th of December 1948, Pakistan wrote to propose a change in this clause. it requested to substitute the words, the future status of Jammu and Kashmir, by the following: the question of the accession of the state of Jammu and Kashmir to India and Pakistan. India did not object to this amendment, and in this manner, on the initiative of the Pakistani government, the question of the future of Jammu and Kashmir and its inhabitants was transformed into a territorial dispute between India and Pakistan. As a result, the resolution of 5 January 1949 changed into the question of the accession of the state of Jammu and Kashmir to India and Pakistan will be decided through the democratic method of a free and impartial plebiscite. Coming back to Pakistan's call for a UN plebiscite, this call is hollow, as it is Pakistan which will have to act first if such a plebiscite has to take place. Part 2 of the Truce Agreement puts all liabilities on Pakistan before such a plebiscite can be held. 3 important clauses of this agreement which I will mention here. 1. As the presence of the troops of Pakistan in the territory of the state of Jammu and Kashmir constitutes a material change in the situation since it was represented by the government of Pakistan before the Security Council, the government of Pakistan agrees to withdraw its troops from the state. Second, the government of Pakistan will use its best endeavor to secure the withdrawal from the state of Jammu and Kashmir of tribesmen and Pakistan nationals not normally resident therein who have entered the state for the purpose of fighting. And the last and third point, pending a final solution, the territory evacuated by the Pakistani troops will be administered by the local authorities under the surveillance of the Commission. Coming back to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, I would like to emphasize that I am not averse to economic development, solutions to Pakistan's growing economic crisis, or the eradication of poverty. I welcome that and wholeheartedly wish that the friendship of China and Pakistan will flourish into eternity. However, as a Kashmiri, I have my strongest reservations regarding this new economic corridor, the origins of which can be traced back to the border agreement of 1963, in which Pakistan ceded more than 5,000 square miles of Jammu and Kashmir to China. I believe that after Pakistan's many attempts throughout history to change the demographics of Gilgit Baltistan and its role in marginalizing the voice of the Kashmiri people on international platforms like the UN, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is a deliberate attempt to change the demographics of the actual Kashmir issue. I also find it strange that some try to make the world and Kashmiris believe that this corridor will yield positive economic benefits for the enslaved people of Gilgit Baltistan. The people of Gilgit Baltistan have no constitutional guarantees of their political liberties. They have no say over their national resources and minerals. Mining licenses are directly issued by Islamabad. The people of Gilgit Baltistan have never been considered able enough by Islamabad to administer decision-making powers, as all the departments of forest, power, tourism and minerals are under the direct control of the Gilgit Baltistan Council, which is headed by the Prime Minister of Pakistan. The economic potential of Gilgit Baltistan is such that had the people been masters of their own destiny and not treated as a colony by Pakistan, Gilgit Baltistan could finance the complete construction of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. There is an abundance of water resources, minerals worth billions of dollars, and an ocean of undiscovered tourism potential in this part of Jammu and Kashmir. There are at least 5,000 glaciers, including 3 of the largest in the world, outside of the polar regions in Gilgit Baltistan. It has almost 2,500 glacial lakes. The potential of power is, mind you, 52,000 megawatt, while the requirement of the indigenous population is just 150 megawatt. Gilgit Baltistan and its ecological habitat will also be affected negatively. Researchers have already concluded that the current rise of temperature, so if we go by this temperature rise which we have at the moment, will dry up the glaciers in the Karakoram and Himalayan region within a century. toxic gases by heavy traffic flow and construction works related to the establishment of this corridor will only enhance the melting of the world's largest reservoir of freshwater glaciers. The factories which will emerge during the construction of this corridor will use all the minerals of Gilgit Baltistan as raw material, for which the population will not be paid royalty. The proposed shifting of the Sost dry port from Gilgit Baltistan to Havelian will also result in devastating loss of business for the inhabitants of Gilgit Baltistan. Shifting this port will also mean that Gilgit Baltistan will lose revenue on customs levied on merchandise imported from China. The economical and political vulnerabilities of Gilgit Baltistan will only increase due to this corridor. I must admit that some elements of Pakistan might enjoy the economic and strategic benefits of this corridor, especially the Army of Pakistan and the Navy. One of the arrangements of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Agreement is that Pakistan will purchase 8 attack submarines and 6 patrol vessels from China. This corridor will elevate China as Pakistan's primal arms provider, a contract to the tune of $5 billion, while it will seriously disturb the equilibrium in the Indian Ocean and thereby threaten the already fragile peace in the region. I firmly believe that the construction of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is illegal. Gilgit Baltistan is part of Jammu and Kashmir state, the future status of which still needs to be decided according to the wishes of the people living in Jammu, Ladakh, the Kashmir Valley, Pakistan-administrated Kashmir, and indeed Gilgit Baltistan. Jammu and Kashmir has been the battlefield of a prestigious war of prestige between India and Pakistan. The construction of this corridor, complemented by the military benefits for both China and Pakistan, and an investment of $46 billion, has all the ingredients to exacerbate the complexities of the Kashmir issue, threaten peace, and cement China's stake in Jammu and Kashmir. Any kind of solution to the long-standing issue of Kashmir will only be jeopardized by these kind of intrusions. China is not investing billions of dollars to simply withdraw if any solution is found to the Kashmir issue. Its investment guarantees their strategic interests and is aimed at changing the demographics of the Kashmir issue. The people in Gilgit Baltistan are not in need of economic corridors of exploitation. They are longing for their political liberties and the right to live for the past 70 years. The people of Gilgit Baltistan are equal stakeholders in the Kashmir issue and are as much Kashmiri as the Kashmiris living in other parts of Kashmir. Perhaps we Kashmiris have also been culpable of neglecting Gilgit Baltistan, as we were too preoccupied trying to liberate just one part of Kashmir on the behest of intelligence agencies who were working in their national interest while they used Kashmiris as sacrificial lambs. We Kashmiris must protest against the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor as it is an attempt to further destabilize the region in general and the Kashmir issue in particular. No country, not even our so-called elder brother and benefactor, has the liberty to impose economic corridors on us by force. We Kashmiris must contemplate on what we need to change and unite in order to defeat this new game changer. Thank you.
Thank you very much.